from clickorlando.com and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6 p.m.
The city of Holly Hill holds a special meeting to discuss issues of flooding. We have reaction from residents coming up.
Plus, a local tax prep business shut down, the workers arrested.
I told them, I said, I don't have any deductions. I don't have any contributions.
What they're accused of doing and the punishments for those who just pleaded guilty.
But we begin with one of the stories our viewers are clicking on the most on clickorlando.com. The owner of a well-known bail bonds business in Central Florida arrested and accused of accepting sexual favors as a form of payment. Russell Moncrief faced a judge in Seminole County this afternoon. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Austin.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. His arrest is being linked to what investigators are calling a criminal enterprise. It all started in 2020 after the arrest of a local attorney, John Gillespie, on human trafficking charges. The MBI says the investigation into Moncrief started a year later after victims told detectives that Gillespie told them they had to have sex with Moncrief in exchange for being bonded out of jail. In August of this year, the MBI served warrants at Moncrief bail bond offices in Orange and Osceola and Brevard counties. Moncrief was arrested yesterday on human trafficking charges and racketeering charge. News 6's Catherine Silver is outside the Seminole County Jail with the new details being uncovered.
In Volusia County tonight, leaders in Holly Hill are giving homeowners the floor to talk about the city's drainage issues. Holly Hill was hit hard by Hurricane Milton. The mayor has called the flooding the worst he's ever seen in the city's history. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Holly Hill, it is bordered to the east by the Halifax River, and several canals crisscross the city. Take a look over here. The waterways you see highlighted right here in blue are well-known sources of flooding in the city. News 6's Troy Campbell joins us live from Holly Hill tonight at a workshop dedicated to finding potential solutions.
Yeah, the special meeting ended. It lasted just about 90 minutes where the city spoke. We also spoke to some residents after to get their reaction. The city also says there is a new flooding study that they do expect to be completed by December. They hope to take the results of that study to apply for grants to help solve the flooding issue. Live in Holly Hill, Troy Campbell, getting results, News 6.
All right, Troy, thank you. Right now, federal assistance from FEMA is available for Floridians impacted by Hurricane Milton. Help may involve repairing damage to homes or finding a temporary place to stay, but families may also be eligible for upfront funds to help replace things like food, water, baby formula, and other essential items. In an update released yesterday, FEMA has approved more than $250 million in assistance for nearly 200,000 Florida households. And there are a number of ways you can apply for FEMA aid. The Disaster Recovery Center at the Orange County Multicultural Center allows you to apply in person. They are open tonight until 7 o'clock. You can also apply online at disasterassistance.gov, and you can apply in the FEMA app. Or you can apply by phone at the number you see right there on your screen. It's 800-621-3362. Keep in mind there may be a wait time. The deadline to apply for assistance to cover damage from Milton is December 11th. And don't worry if you miss some of this information. We have it all on clickorlando.com.
3 times now I've come by and it was still too busy to make time before work. So here really early and made it in.
Charlie Lyons there is an Orange County voter. Just grateful he was able to make his voice heard in this year's election. He's one of thousands of early voters dealing with record turnout across Central Florida. But Charlie isn't the only voter dealing with these lines out here. So Orange County Supervisor of Elections has added 4 new locations to high traffic areas in hopes to better serve voters. There's also an interactive map that lets you see how long wait times are. Hopefully opportunities to give dedicated voters like Chuck Dickens a chance to stay on track.
I've been voting since I was 18. I'm 58 now. Never missed an election. I think it's important to vote nationally and especially locally because local, it grows to national. And if you can't control what's in your own community, then you can't control what's on the national stage either.
Early voting will continue throughout the weekend. If you don't vote by Sunday, November 3rd, you'll have to go on Election Day, November 5th. And remember, News 6 is your source for everything elections, whether you want to check out that interactive wait time map or you need a review of the ballots county by county. Just search Results 2024 at clickorlando.com.
Today, Lake Eola's swan census just got a little bit bigger after a local couple's generous donation. The couple gifted 2 new Australian black swans to the park in Orlando. They're the latest new additions as the city looks to replenish the swan population after several were lost to the avian flu and an otter attack. For now, the swans, named David and Nicole after the couple who donated them, will be in a special acclimation area as they get used to their brand new home. Good to see them out there.
Very regal looking swans.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, doctors say now is a good time to get your flu shot and that you should do it sooner rather than later.
Physicians say they've already seen an increase in RSV, and it was around this time last year when the flu started showing up in patients. That's why we're teaming up with Centricare to offer free flu shots. The first event will be Monday, November 11th at the facility along West 1st Street in Sanford. There will also be 2 more events on the 13th and 14th in Orlando and Claremont. The CDC recommends an annual influenza vaccine for anyone 6 months of age or older. We've posted all the details at clickorlando.com. We still have a lot more coming up on News 6 at 6. First, workers arrested at a local tax prep business plead guilty to fraud charges. The punishment's just handed down.
The Atlantic a little rough tonight. It's been that way for the last few days. We're going to take a look at what's causing that and when they settle back down coming up in a few minutes.
And 50 points and on the cusp of a triple-double on Friday. Can Paolo Banchero carry that magic into tonight's game against the Bulls? The Preps coming up in sports.
And News 6 anchor Justin Wormuth is here with what we're working on online for News 6 at 6:30.
Well, Ginger, when you're having fun on Halloween, the last thing you want to worry about is being sued, right? A closer look at the most common reasons people file lawsuits during the spooky season. And a local animal shelter running dangerously low on money and desperately looking for homes for dozens of cats and dogs. A closer look at how you can help ahead at 6:30. Find us on clickorlando.com, YouTube, and the free News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
You're watching News 6 at 6, getting results for Union Park, Castleberry, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
And now it's time for your Cyber Tip of the Week, sponsored by ThreatLocker. Block untrusted software, including ransomware.
Stream News 6 whenever you want. Sponsored by T-Mobile. Watch news, weather, and special investigations on your time. You can even tune in to your favorite News 6 podcast. Download News 6 Plus to your smart TV now. Employees of a Central Florida tax preparation company have pleaded guilty to fraud charges.
Neighborhood Advance Tax promised to get customers the maximum tax refund. Instead, some customers got audited by the IRS. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest first exposed this tax prep business 5 years ago. And Mike, this is a big update.
Well, following our News 6 investigation into Neighborhood Advance Tax, federal authorities arrested 8 employees earlier this year. Now, 3 of them admit they conspired to defraud the government. The 3 tax preparers who've pleaded guilty will be sentenced in the next few months. They each face a maximum of 5 years in prison, but the government says it will be asking the judge for more lenient sentences as part of their plea deals.
Boy, a lot of money involved in this. Yeah. You know, we've all seen the guys on the sidewalk spinning the signs in front of those strip malls for those tax preparation services. How do you know you're getting a reputable one?
And there are reputable ones out there, and it can be difficult sometimes, especially if you don't know anything about taxes and just want to trust someone else. One thing the IRS says is you should be wary of any tax preparer who claims that they can get you a bigger refund than anyone else. We've posted several other suggestions on how to find a tax preparer on our website, clickorlando.com.
Maybe don't put your intentions for fraud in the employee handbook. That was a pretty rough.
That's what prosecutors allege.
They say happened. Wow.
And they allege that part of that training manual was to figure out a way to not let the customers, the filers, know that this was happening. And that's why a lot of people thought, oh, I'm getting this money back.
But they're still responsible for paying it back.
A lot of money to pay back. All right, Mike DeForest, thank you. All right, let's check in with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. Everybody wants to know how their Halloween costume is
Yeah.
going to be impacted by the weather.
And I think they're going to be pretty good, all things considered. We'll get to that in just 1 second. The one thing we will carry into Halloween is the breeze. And you see the Daytona Beach Skycam bouncing all over the place. Look how rough the ocean is again. That is a live look in Daytona Beach with our Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia Skycam. Air temperatures hanging tight into the upper 70s right now. The breeze sustained at about 15 miles an hour. Gusts at about 20 to 25 miles an hour at times. We're going to keep the wind cranked up over the next couple of days, all because of this big chunk of high pressure. The center of it's hanging off the coast of the Carolinas, and you see that clockwise flow around high pressure. That is keeping that easterly breeze off of the Atlantic, and it's pretty stiff, and that's what's chewing up the beaches, churning up the water, and also allowing that breeze to stay cranked up really in through interior Central Florida as well. Taking it through tomorrow in the wind department, we're going to keep sustained winds at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, gusts in about the same ballpark as today at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. And we are going to keep things breezy as we get ready to round out the work week. Clouds and rain forecast because of that breeze off of the Atlantic. Just going to dodge a few quick hitting showers through the evening. Same deal tomorrow. Most of us, though, are going to be dry. There's 6 o'clock in the morning on your Thursday morning, Halloween morning. Just a few stray showers again, trying to sneak on shore. They don't push that far inland. And just like today, in and out of a couple of extra clouds because of that breeze out of the east and then shifting out of the south and east through the day tomorrow. Popka and Zellwood for your pinpoint forecast for tomorrow. We're going to start things off with a lot of sunshine, back to the mid-70s by 10 o'clock. Extra sunshine through the afternoon. We are back into the lower 80s for your afternoon high temperatures. Now here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
Palm Coast tomorrow, we're back to 83. Same for us into Bunnell. 84 in Orlando, 84 in Sanford. We are at 83 in Melbourne tomorrow. Miko will check in the lower 80s as well. As far as Halloween goes, once we get to the afternoon, low to mid 80s for afternoon high temperatures again. Very nice for trick-or-treating if you're heading out. Back to the upper 70s by 6 o'clock, mid 70s by 8. A little breezy through the evening, but it's going to feel pretty nice. Hurricane Center continues to outlook. An area in the tropics in the Western Caribbean still has not developed yet. The models are still going on and off with this thing. Again, really nothing to worry about at this point, as again, there's nothing trackable as we continue to move over the next few days. Maybe as we get into the upcoming weekend, something will try to develop. 86 on Friday, mid 80s on Saturday. Remember, before you go to bed, switch those clocks back an hour, although these days, most of the electronics you have does it on their own.
Fortunately, they used to mess me up. Thank you, Jonathan. Sports director Jamie Say is here. Jamie, a big road trip starts tonight for the Magic.
Yeah, they've got 5 games in 8 days, beginning tonight in Chicago. A preview of the Bulls game is on the way. But as we go to break, the Florida-Georgia game gets there's Paolo Banchero. This is kind of the wrong video. But the Florida-Georgia game is going to be played in Tampa and Atlanta in 2026 and 2027. This is the wrong video.
As a trooper, I know how every crash is going to affect your commute. So watch me on News 6 Mornings.
Breaking news, traffic. When you need to know what's going on in your neighborhood, trust Sky 6 to get the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
Next DT from Universal Studios Hollywood. Halloween week rolls on with the talk co-host Amanda Kloots, plus Scream King Matthew Lillard. Oh! Next DT.
Tonight at 7 on News 6.
All right, a fan favorite is going to be back on the hardwood.
Yeah, Franz Wagner was sick the other night on Monday, and Paolo went off for 50 in that game. But Franz is healthy now. Franz is playing tonight, so that's good. At shoot-around this morning, head coach Jamal Mosley wore a hat that said, "Magic vibes only." I like that. I think we could all use some magic vibes at this point in time, right? Vibes are good for Orlando's basketball team as they get ready to take on Chicago Bulls tonight at 8. So the Yankees are sending their ace, Garrett Cole, out tonight against Jack Flaherty of the Dodgers. We'll see if that momentum for the Yankees can carry over and extend this World Series. Otherwise, the Dodgers are celebrating.
But those two fans, that's the most New York thing I have seen.
Whoa!
No, I'm sorry.
Send your emails to G.
Everywhere. This happens everywhere.
It does.
Okay.
And those guys are probably heroes in New York.
They were in the wrong, though. They were in the wrong.
Absolutely.
Happens everywhere.
All right.
Sorry.
She said it.
We'll
I
see
did.
you at 6:30.